Hello and welcome to another Thursday Live. I am Dr. Jerry Dreessen, the Executive Director here at the Association of PEMF Professionals. And as we are wrapping up the year, for those of you that have been watching this last couple of weeks, know that we are putting together our, I guess it's like a 3-part series, but it's goal planning for 2025. And today's going to be, it's pretty good. If you've never done goal planning before, or even if you have, it's going to be a different take. So I hope that when we are done with today's talk, you will have a clear direction on where your 2025 is going. So with that, I'm excited to share my knowledge on the things that I do as far as creating my goals in my businesses, and that they have definitely helped me create beyond what I thought I could do. So that's the cool part about this. So let's jump right into it. And who here is ready to make 2025 their best year? Me. So in order to do that, one of my favorite quotes is to begin with an end in mind. So the visualization is we're a year from now, we're at the, coming towards the end of 2025, and you're sitting there and you're going, wow, what a great year. There was so much stuff going on. I was able to do X, I was able to do Y, I was able to do Z. I met these people. My business grew 10%, grew tenfold. I got another machine. I hired people. What is that? What's that vision that you have? And there are no incorrect answers. So the dream big. So what's the end that you are thinking about for this? But the real thing is, for all of us, is how do I get more customer activity? And that's any business. That's their questions. How do we get more people? How do we become busier, or, introduce more people to PEMF? But also, how do you get more people into your sales process? That's the other thing. And the other way that I like to look at it is, what is your sales funnel? So for those of you that are just starting out, your funnel is you get a phone call and then you provide PEMF services and you get paid for it. So what is it that you can do to get your phone to ring more, or your text messaging, or your email? So those are like the 3 things to have triggered by people that want your services. So if you have never done this before, it's something I want you to do. It's very inexpensive, but you get a big calendar, and this could be a 4-foot by 5-foot. It could be a 2-foot by 3-foot, but it is the kind that you can put a dry erase marker. And then I'm going to show you some events. So on your calendar, what you'll end up doing, your calendar will end up looking like this. It might even look like this by the time you get your calendar up. But it's what you shoot for. So 3 internal types of marketing and 3 external types of marketing. And that's all you have to do, is you pick 3 of those and then you go for it. So what I've done, thinking about PEMF and how to roll this in, I figured, well, with PEMF, what are the things that we do? And so what I did, as far as the internal types of marketing, 3 internal types. Number 1 is give 2 cards. And so what you do is you hand somebody 2 cards and you say, this one's for you. This one's for you to give to somebody else who needs PEMF. So that's the gist behind the 2 cards. a client appreciation day. So now's a great time to take everybody that you saw this year, maybe even the year before, and invite them to, it's like an open house. What's really nice about it is if you have friends that have other businesses, you can invite them to the open house and they can set up a little table to sell what it is that they do. So you can create like a little mini um, job fair, or not job fair, like a farmer's market, or and it's only like 2-3 hours long. And the goal is people can bring in their friends that have never tried PEMF before and get a chance to try it. And as a result of that, you can turn some of those people into clients, but then everybody gets a chance to, to work together as a community too. So Client Appreciation Day. Next one is the referral or review program. So if somebody refers somebody to you, just a nice little card. Thank you for the referral. It means a lot to me. If somebody's gone onto your Google Business profile and left a review, just a nice little thank you. And that's what a lot of people are, they want to give you a review, they want to refer you, but acknowledging that and saying thank you, that's gold in and of itself. That's the type of gold that doesn't weigh anything, but it goes a long ways. And then the next one is PEMF curriculum. And so what are you saying each time you're doing a session on somebody? And let's say that there are 12 different things that you can say about PEMF, but it's also marketing too. So let's say, for example, the first one is, what do you think about PEMF? What do you think about this? Do you know anybody else that might be able to use this? That kind of thing. So that's your, what we call a CPC, or client PEMF curriculum, number one. Number two would be, family. So is there anybody else in your family who is thinking about this? And you can say, whether or not they live here or somewhere else, I could probably find a PEMF practitioner near them so that they could try it out. Number three would be something like, let's say you're treating somebody for low back pain. You say, hey, do your kids have, low back pain too? Are they like you? Is low back pain a thing that goes on in the family? Now, if you're treating animals, then, it's going to be, whatever that animal is, and then their offspring. And, we might want to pay attention to this on the offspring, because they might be predisposed to that or show up that way. So anyways, you can see you can build a list of things to do or to say for each session. That way the person that's getting the PEMF or is watching the PEMF being done on an animal, they're getting an education, and it's different every time. So the CRM, which is a customer relationship management. So that's where you're taking the name and the email, even their address that's going in a database. And with that, you can create emails that go out on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, if there's a broadcast. So let's say you've got 50 people in a CRM, and you've set up a 12-month monthly email that goes out that talks about PEMF, and always has what we'll call a CTA, or a call to action. Like, who do you know that can benefit from this? Give me a call, click here, kind of a thing. So there's 12 of those. Well, let's say that you are going to do a client appreciation day. Well, there's your group. You send a broadcast email saying, hey, we're doing this client appreciation day. It's going to be next month. Would love to have you come. That kind of a thing. So that's the internal types. Now, the external types, what's interesting about this, these are the things that you do outside your business. The other ones are done inside. This is where you're going out into the community. So you're going to be doing some marketing. So get some business cards made. name, address, phone number, logo. That's pretty much all you really need. But you need to have them to hand them out. And you can get, it's like 500 business cards for $30. I mean, they're very inexpensive. But you can go all out. And I have a real estate agent. I don't think I have this card here. Each of his cards are 75 cents each. I mean, these are like beautiful cards. They're silver embossed. They're got that nice, thick, velvety feel to them. You know, it's me. Here I am talking about his card because how cool it is. And that's why he has those. But you don't have to go 75 cents per card unless you want to. The freezer section. So again, those of you that know me as a chiropractor, I would go out and do spinal screenings. And I would go anywhere that I could to set up and do spinal screenings. And I actually did have my butt up against the freezer section at a Safeway because that was the only place that I could set up, right next to the chicken that was on sale, doing spinal screenings. So the other thing, and the reason I'm saying this is, don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone if you want to massively grow your business. So I call it the freezer section because where can you go to set up and do demos? You know, whether that's on the human side, you know, those are going to be usually the health food places. So here in Washington, we have a PCC. There's, you know, Co-op. It's tougher when you're working with corporations versus mom and pop places. But I had on my calendar, I had 2 external marketing places a week was my goal of this group right here. And again, handouts. You want them to walk away with information. The handout is kind of tell them what you're going to tell them what you've told them, give them a call to action. You know, it's like if you give them a piece of paper, direct them on what to do. It's like so that they know, because people love to be told what to do and how to, you know, how to win. And if your handout walks them through, this is what we do. If you're having these problems, I want you to call me or I want you to set up a time with me. And the same with animals. And then that's the other thing. In the freezer section, if you're working on animals, then, you know, you guys have got that figured out already. If you can go to the barns where people are, if you can go to the feed stores where people are, it isn't necessarily where they are with the animal. It could be where they go to get things for the animal. You know, PetSmart, if you can go, again, set up with a vet, or on the human side, set up and do a client appreciation day with the chiropractor. Teach them to do that. We call it a patient appreciation day, but you can jump in and do that. And again, do health talks. If you can jump in and speak for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's all you need, because you can do a 1-hour talk. 15 minutes is your talk, and then the other 45 minutes is doing demos and questions and answers. So when you say I can't do a 1-hour talk, it's not an hour's worth of talking. It's a small amount of talking, doing some demos, and then answering questions, and then you're done. So there are places that are looking for speakers because they need to fill their calendar up. They have a calendar on their wall to put speakers on. So if you can be part of that, that would be even better. You know, local chambers. You don't have to be a member to speak there. I mean, they would love for you to be a member to speak there. But if you've got an amazing, interesting thing to talk about that's going to edify their audience, you know, you might be able to get in there and just do a talk and a demo on it. So yeah, the feed stores, vitamin stores, being a featured speaker somewhere. You know, what is going on in your community where PEMF could be a marquee or something that's really special, and that you would be the keynote speaker or the featured speaker. You know, inside your groups, it might be, again, I'm thinking like on the animal side, if there's an event that goes on every year, like a banquet or something like that, use your imagination on exploring different things that are going on in your community and how you can be a part of it. And then finally, make sure you have a website. Um, Make sure you have videos. Make sure you are on social media. All of those things need to go on your calendar. Like even if it's once a month, um, create a video and post it. Post it on Instagram or YouTube or upload it to your website or your blog on your website. And you should be doing at least once a week. That's the cool thing about Google Business Profile is you can be adding pictures, you can be adding videos to that as well. And again, I always tell people, Google Business Profiles, they're like free websites, and Google will promote it. So that's how you can outrank your competition, is by stuffing your Google Business Profile. And you just need a Gmail account. I have if you haven't already got it, I have the 8 steps to build your Google Business Profile. Walks you through how to do all of that if you've never done it. So next, we're going to talk about these lovely posters. Again, begin with an end in mind. And what's great about these is you can just flip it over and it'll be vertical, or you can flip it and it's horizontal. So that's going to be your first choice, or the first thing you're going to have to do is figure out which one you want, up, vertical or horizontal. I have, and I've been doing this since I started practice, I have a 2x3. It's on the wall in front of me in my desk. And I have the dry erase marker in a cup right next to it, because whenever I go, oh, I got to do that, I write it down. So it's constantly in front of me. So find a place where this can be, that's in front of your face, so that it's top of mind, that you're constantly looking at it. And like we talked about, have at least one internal or one external event each week. Like I said, I wanted to grow really fast. So I wanted to have one internal, 2 internals each week, and 2 externals each week. So that's what I did, is I built it up, and I had phenomenal growth my first year once I started implementing this. So again, what does your funnel look like now? Now that you're doing all these things and you're putting them on your calendar, you can see what your year is going to look like. You're going to see what voids you have. It's like, oh my gosh, I got nothing going on in September. Or when are these big events? Put those events down too. And that way they're coming up, because if you're going to get into an event, almost 2 months before that event is when you should have made the contact to get into the event. Sometimes they'll be like last minute things, which is great. But to get up and running, to get to know these people, the events coordinators and things like that, you'll need to reach out to them a lot sooner. So January 2025, what can you do? Who can you call to get all 5 weeks filled up in January? What are the events? And a little extra credit. What if you could be 3 months full, and then in January, what you're doing is you're working on April, you're working on the 4th month, and then beyond. So that's the other thing we're talking about, is, putting that big event on the calendar too, so you know when it's coming up, and work like crazy to be a part of it. I was taught to get 13 no's, because the 14th time would be a yes. So every time you call and somebody says no, you're that much closer to a yes, because they don't know who you are. Once they do know who you are, they're like, hey, can we get you back next month? You'll start getting those things happening. And so your calendar will almost automatically fill up by itself. But you have to jump in there and do the leg work. This is where the muscle comes in. This is the elbow grease. This is where you got to push yourself, and the more you can, and again, the further outside of your comfort zone you can live when you're doing this, the bigger the payoff. I guarantee it. So, your action steps is to create a database of your contacts. If you don't have one, how are you going to reach out to them if you got something going on? Or it's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a month. How you feeling? Or how's your animal doing? I wanted to get in on your calendar to, get another session scheduled. Those kinds of things. Again, name, address, phone number of the contact, and then continue to grow it and to continue to call on it. So anytime somebody gives you a business card, you're going to take that and put it in your database too, and you start building it out. If you don't have a CRM, you don't necessarily need one. If you're going to be like sending out emails by hand, you can do that. Certainly, if you wanted to save some money until you get big enough that you have a system that'll do that. There's 5 or 6 of them that are out there that are, really good. There's even Microsoft has their email merger system. That's part of their system when you buy it. So that being said, I want to thank you for your time again today. And hopefully some of this information that you are seeing here is going to make a difference for you for 2025. Again, if you don't have a marketing calendar, you have no excuse not to get one. I just go to Amazon, type in, calendar wall or wall calendar dry erase. And I think they're, I haven't bought mine yet this year for next year. I think they're like $8 or something like that. So anyways, I will let you go. Have a great week, everybody. And then next week, we will be finishing out our goal planning for 2025. I look forward to seeing you then. If you liked what you saw, share it with your friends. Even if they don't have a PEMF business, this is a templated type of thing that they can use in their business if they want to look at how it's all done. And like and share. Again, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. We have our blog. So anywhere that you can go and see this, that would be great. And I wanted to say hi to Deborah. You're welcome, Deborah. Thanks. Yeah. You're welcome. I enjoy doing this and being with everybody here and helping them out. So yes, have a great weekend too. Those of you that are new to the AOPP, again, we have a members only where we can go into further discussion. Make sure you jump on there. If you have asked to join the members only group and nobody's gotten back to you yet, shoot me an email and we'll get you on there. And as always, our code of ethics, as far as who we are, what we do, our goal is to be the bright shining light at the top of the hill for everybody with PEMF to come to learn best practices and how to run businesses. So with that, if you're not a member, please become a member today and you'll get more in-depth stuff beyond what we're doing here. And if you have any questions or tips, just like what we talked about today with the 3 internal and 3 external, if you've got another one you'd like to share, send it to us, info@pemfprofessionals.com, and we'll make sure we share it with everybody else. So with that, thank you again so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week. All right, take care.